I'm back. I hit the button that's ended the video, so we shall start again. We'll get out of that one. I hope I'm still getting someone watching. We'll start again. I think I'm back again. I'll go the other way a bit. Start it all over. I hope someone's watching. I just fluffed it up a bit then. We'll come down a little bit, that's the problem. Say hi if you're watching. I did start the video and I hit the finish button and blocked myself out. So we'll have another go. Say hi if you're watching. I won't start until someone is on. Probably won't get anyone on now. Good morning, Kat. Yes, I'm back. I hit the end button when I was trying to adjust the camera and blocked myself off. Hi, Angelique. Yes, we're here again. Hello, Helen and Jenny. It's very cold here, so that's probably why I stuffed it up. We'll keep going until someone comes on. As you all know, my name is Laura Stranks. You can watch the replay of this if later on, if you haven't watched it yet. The replay will be pinned to the featured tab, so I'll go through all that in a minute. Might not get so many on here at the moment. It is so cold here in Australia, and I know up in the US it'll be nice and warm. I hope I get a few more on. Got a card class this afternoon, so that will be nice to get my fingers going again. We'll just wait a minute or so. I'll show you these cards that I'm going to do today. It goes like this. Very easy to do. This is the Australian measurements one, this one, and this is the US one. So we'll do both today, and I've got another one next week that I've got both measurements, but I'll just do one card. So good morning, Naomi. I mucked it up myself before. I started the video and then I finished it by myself. So I had to get back in it. At least I did it quickly getting back in again. Morning, Brenda. And Glenda Mathers. Good morning. Corinne, hello. It's so cold here. I didn't want to start this morning. I slept in a little bit, but not that much. We might get started because I've got lots to do today. Well, not lots. I'm just going to a card class this afternoon with my friend again, which I do every month. Good morning, Jenny. Again? Yes, again. I mucked up before. Fiddling around trying to get my camera straight, and all I had to do was pull it down a bit instead of it being up so high. Good morning, afternoon from Canada. Hello, Evelyn. And Joyce from Canada as well. We will get started. Now, I will just mention this as well, only because I upload these to YouTube now, and I did have a question the other day of where to find the PDFs for my videos. So I will just mention this little bit here. The rest you know from before. My group is called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. So if you're in watching now, you're in my group. The PDFs for all of these, my live videos that I do on a Saturday and my YouTube videos, they all go into the files tab in this group. If you're inviting any friends into the group, just tell them to be aware that there are 2 questions that they need to answer. One, why they wish to join, and the other, that they agree to the rules. I've had a few requests come through invited by other people, other members, and they haven't answered the questions, but they will get a little notification back to say you need to answer the questions. So that's all I wanted to mention on that, only because it goes onto my YouTube channel as well, and people need to know where to find the PDFs for these. Through the week, I did pin the measurements only to the featured tab, so if anyone wants to craft along with me this morning, they've got all the pieces. And I will be doing both US and Australian cards from the 2 lots of measurements that you got through the week. We'll start with the US one this morning. This is the US one here. I've done them in 2 different papers and designs. That's that one, and then this is the Australian one here. Not much difference except for the size, but all the rest, the cutting and everything. Some of the mats and all are a little bit different size as well to fit the correct bases. Excuse me. We'll start with the US one, which is this one here. I'll put that one aside and we'll do it later. I'll just see. Good morning, Carmel. Good morning, Judy. Shannon from Calgary. Look, a lot of people from Canada. Hello, everyone. So what we've got here, and I'll show you the paper first this time that I'm using on both of these. I'll just get that out of the road. This is a new paper. I've only been able to get 2 packs so far. It is really, really pretty. It's an online exclusive. It's called Floral Charm. And I bought the suite, which is the stamp sets and dies and the paper. I'm not sure. I think there's embellishments as well. So that's all the papers in there. Really pretty papers. And I'm using 2 different patterns out of the paper. I'm using this one here for one of my workshops that are coming up in the beginning of July. But I really love these papers. Reminds me of autumn colours in this one here. Some of them are really autumn colours. So that's that. This one I really love. So we're using that one today on one of the cards, which is this US one to start with. And I've got all these little extra bits, so I'll put them aside. They're all my decoration pieces. We have the base, which is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I've done that in Pretty Peacock. My DSP pieces, there's 2 of these. I call this design 1, because you can reverse your paper. This one, I've used that's the back side of that, but I wanted this side to have something more muted. They're 4 inches by 2 1/2. There's 2 of those. And then the mats on these, I've used Bubble Bath. And I did, there should be 2, oh no, hang on. There should be, oh no, only 1 of those. 4 1/2 by 2 1/2. That's that one there. There's no mats on that. Why don't I just fix that so we don't get, I think there should only be 1 of those because it goes around that. Pretty sure there's only 1. Oh no, here we are, sorry. Yes, that's right, it's the writing panel. I had it down underneath. So that's correct, that one. 2 mats. I've sponged around the edges of those with the Bubble Bath as well to give a little bit of detail. They're 4 1/2 by 2 1/2. We've mentioned those. The DSP on Design 2, and that's what I've called here is Design 2. It's 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. No, yes, 2 1/4. Where do I get my ruler? Getting myself all mucked up here. Yes, that's 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. That's that one there. It'll all make sense when we get to it. And then my basic white, there's another one of those, 4 1/4 by 2 1/4, same size as that piece there. And then a patterned paper that's going behind, you'll see here, which is that piece in the back of there. That is 5 1/4 by 4, Design 2. So I put 1 and 2 so you can get them sort of coordinating. And then the basic white for the back is 5 1/4 by 4. This one here, I'm not putting strips on. The Australian one, I've got strips. So this is alternate. If you want to put the strips, you can. That's the sizes, and there's 2 of those. But on this one, I'm putting some flowers and decorations. So that's optional, that one there. But you can work out which way you want to decorate it. So that's that. And then we shall get this out of the road. I'll put that one up there. And I shall give you the scoring measurements. You are my ray of sunshine in a COVID-infested house. And that's not good. I'm lucky I haven't. A couple of times I've had COVID. I don't know whether it's twice or 3 times. I think it's 3 times. And we're eligible to get a medication from the doctor if you're over 70, I think it is, and it alleviates a lot of the sickness and that. I think the first time I had it roughly for 3 days, and then 5 days I was back. It just leaves you really tired and worn out. I'm just getting my measurements. So I sympathise with you if you've got COVID. It's not nice. And it's never going to go away. So, good morning, Diane. Ready for some fun? Yes. I love this design. It's so simple, and it's sort of tricky the way it works. It doesn't look as though you know the right way to do it. Anyway, we'll get on to this. Now, I've got the US one here. Make sure I've got the right measurements. US is 2 3/4. We'll just do the full US one first, so we don't go chopping and changing. 2 3/4 and 5 1/2 on the long side of your base. You're scoring that. Then you will fold it in half on that 5 1/2 score. I don't think we'll need the cutter in a minute, so we'll burnish that. I've got all my tools out here. Just burnish that. And then this one here, you just fold it back on itself. So that's your base. Now, this is the same measurements for both here, for Australian and US. We want the top edge here. On the short side, you're going to put the top edge on the 1 inch mark this way. And you've got this smaller panel at the top. You've got the longer panel down here, and then 2 small ones up the top. So you want the outside smallest one at the top, and you're going to put it on 1 inch over this side. And I find it easier if you start on your score line. I'm going to stand up here so I can see. Start on the score line and go up, cut. You're going to cut here up this way, like that. And then move it across so your right edge is on 1 inch. And we're going to do the same. You could start here and go down, but I find when I go down, I end up going past the score line. So if I can line it up on the score line first, it's much easier to get it right, and you're not going to cut down past your score line. If it is a bit short, you can always snip it with your scissors. So go up there. So you've got 2 cuts at 1 inch wide on either side of that outside smaller panel. Now it might make sense to you what we're doing. I'll just put that aside. And then you're going to take your scissors or your snips and just go. Now I'm going to remove the score line here. I'm not cutting right on top of it. I'm just going to the left of it. So it takes it out and it leaves it nice and even along there. I just missed a little bit there. Then turn it around and do the same with this piece here. I'll just take a fraction more off there. It's a lot neater if you remove that score line. And you can remove those 2 little pieces. And then it goes like so. We shall burnish that again, because sometimes you can see a cut edge. If you push that down, you'll remove your cut edge a bit. And then this will come this way as well. Now we'll do some decorating. So we can do this piece first, your main big piece. There's no mat behind that. You could put a mat, but I don't think it's necessary. There's plenty of colour on the rest. Even that's a pretty one, but I wanted a muted pattern. I will get my silicone mat to do this. Hello, Sue from Victoria, Canada. Nice to have you on. Concentrate, Laura, and don't stick the wrong side. Be nice. I'm going to a card class this afternoon with my friend again. I go once a month there, and she has some fabulous designs. We have lots of fun. So that one just goes on that back section on the inside. Then we've got these two smaller patterns. This is design one. One is going on the front here, and one is going in there. So we'll put those two together. This is no direction. Oh, these little flowers are facing up that way, so I'm going to put it that way. I think it's an all over pattern. If you've got a directional pattern, make sure you've cut it the right way so that it's facing on the length of the paper. My hands are not moving very well this morning because I'm so cold. So that's on there, on the front. And then this one goes, they only fit in certain spots. Put that one on the inside. If anyone's crafting with me and I'm going too fast, let me know. I think lots of you do little bits and then they finish it off after the video's finished. So when I do pin this video to the featured tab, it will only stay there for 30 days as per Facebook now, or ages ago they changed it. It will drop off. So you need to, if you're going to watch it in the replay, watch it within 30 days, or after that you can go, and Facebook does remind me that it's about to drop off, so, but I always upload it straight away today, when it's, I'll leave that back one till last. Now we can put these two together, so you can always go and watch it on YouTube. So we've got these two, one will go on that one, and your white panel will go on this one. And we'll stick those down. Just having a look. Yep. Glue. Just thinking ahead of myself here, trying to remember what I was doing. So that one's going on this mat. So you have got a couple of mats to put on. And this one will go on this mat. We had the neighbour over for dinner last night. I made a lasagna. It was so yummy. I don't normally make lasagna. I haven't done it for years. Since the kids have grown up, if I want one, I just go and buy it at the shop. But I made one from scratch yesterday, and boy, was it nice. But I've got enough there for probably another 3 meals. It was so big. So this one here now is going on this panel that's sticking out this way. So what you're going to do, you're going to line it up level with the edge of this, like so. And you'll have the little border either side, but it will go level with the end of that piece there. So you can put adhesive all over this piece here. We'll do the decoration when we've finished. So all around that one. Get it nicely in the corners so it's not going to lift. And then take this, and I just hold it up a little bit until you can see on the end here that you've got it even with the little, I'm going to move it right out, but you've got the same space there and there, but just move it right out to the edge so it's lined up with the edge of the card on that side. and then that will make it nice. And now I won't lift it up yet because it'll pull apart. Good morning, Lorraine and Gay. What is the DSP? I missed the beginning. I'll show you quickly while I'm waiting for this to dry. It's a new online exclusive. It's not available to customers yet. It's available to demonstrators. I think it goes live to customers on beginning of July sometime. It's called Floral Charm, and it's really, really pretty. Lots of nice colours in there. The colours are Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock, and Timid Tiger. I've used Bubble Bath because I think this lighter colour in here, which is probably meant to be the Blackberry Bliss, faded out, but it goes nicely with Bubble Bath. So that's the DSP for when you, if you're a demonstrator, you can get it now. It's in a suite. I'll show you the other little bits. It's called Charming Day. It's got lovely happy birthday in there and nice flowers. This one I got, it's got the dies with it there. This one I got, and I did ring up demonstrator support because my dies, I don't know if I showed you this last week, my dies, especially this one here, and if anyone does get this set and it's like this, I don't know if you can see that, but my writing is right, it's been cut wrong, the rubber. I've got a big gap down the bottom here and up the top here. It's right close to the edge of the stamp. But when you got your writing on there and you're trying to line it up, especially the wording, the flowers don't matter so much, but the wording, that wording, if you're looking at that trying to line it up with something, it's okay probably if you're doing it on a separate piece and then die cutting a frame around it, but that writing is not going to line up with that greeting. The lady that I spoke to, she said, well, just cut your rubber, but that won't help because the writing's still in the middle nicely and this is way up the top. So, and they're all like that. That one's, that one there's the worst one. This one here, the happy birthday, you can see it's right to the top there and big gap down the bottom. So none of them lined up. So I rang and mentioned it, and she said, because she wanted me to cut it at first, and I said, well, that's not going to help. So they sent me another one, and I got the other one yesterday. That first stamp I showed you is still not much better. All the others are okay, but I'm not going to worry about it again. We'll just work around it. But I've ended up with 2 sets. They never want them back. And I haven't had that much wrong lately. I've got that upside down so it won't shut now. But I did get a second set. So I might swap a few over and just keep one as a spare. So back to the card. That one there, now it flips open like so. So you'll pull that across like that. Now this one here is going in under here. I'm going to put adhesive on the back of that. And all you're going to do is pull it up and hold it with that, like so. So it's level with this one. Glue all that there and drop it down. Easy as. So we'll put glue all over this. You want it hidden down underneath so it just looks like one piece. And then you could use this panel here as your writing panel, like to write your message on. But I just used it to decorate. So all you're going to do is line this up with the one above it. It's exact same size. Get it nice and even on this edge. And then drop it down like that. And then when it's stuck down, you'll see it reveal when you lift it up. You could use that as your writing panel, but I'm going to decorate it because I've got this big panel on the back to do my message. So we can pull that up, and that's your hidden one under there. And there's plenty of room there to write a message. So we shall do some decorating. I can put my back panel on. I don't think I put anything on the back panel. This one, I'm going to put these little flowers. This is out of that same set with the dies in that set. All of those, that one, all of these, they're they're just standalone dies. So you cut them straight out of your DSP, out of your cardstock. You could cut them out of DSP. These are frame ones. That one and those 2 are frames that cut out the images of these 3 flowers, the flowers and the leaves. But these, you just cut an image and that's how they come out. I have sponged the edges and I've also sponged in the middle, and then I've gone over it with my Wink of Stella. I'm not sure if you can see the Wink of Stella, the glitter on that. So we're going to put those 3 on there. And these leaves, they're the standalone leaves that you cut out. And these can sit up above the thing. And I've got another one here I'll put down the bottom. So I'll just decorate that there. I'm not going to put anything on this back panel. You could put those strips that I mentioned before. But and these are all going flat. So I'll put some adhesive on the back of this. Then I'm going to pop my leaf under the correct way. I'll put that one up the top. I'm just going to scatter them. I need a bit of glue under there as well. I'll leave the leaf, that leaf free flowing at the top there. Put some more glue on this. Go down to the bottom for this one. You can decorate however you like. You can put another greeting inside here if you wish. Just trying to get those to stay for a minute. Maybe if I put it down, it might be easier to work with. Just a bit of glue on those. We'll move this one around. And then this one. I love the dies where you can just cut and it gives you a really nice image without having to stamp first and then colour and all that. This is so much quicker. Go in here with this one. So it's a really nice set. There we go. That is my inside piece. And then the front, I've got, I thought I had another flower, but I didn't. I'll just put that there. I might cut another flower and I'll put it on later, but I can pop this up on dimensionals. I was sure I had a fourth flower. Maybe not. Dimensionals, we'll put that up. I probably meant to only put 2 of those in the centre, but that's okay. We'll cut another one after and pop it in. Just put some of those around. I'll leave a bit of a gap. Put one more there. Take the backs off those. And this happy birthday, I'll show you where it's from. So I've got that in the middle. I'll cut another flower and put that on the front as well. So that's that. I did have another set here. This happy birthday is from the loveliest tree. It's this one here. Nice little happy birthday for you. Actually, I'll just put some embellishments on that. I've got some embellishments. And then this piece here, I've sponged around the edge of this one as well. I don't normally sponge my edges a lot. I like to keep it nice and crisp looking instead of muted, but this one looked okay. Yes, thanks, Jenny. It happened to a stamp set years ago where it was all cut crooked on the rubber, and I think they ended up recalling them because a lot of people had them like that. They don't obviously check too well when they do their quality control. my friend that I craft with a lot, she got the same set, but hers was fine. So it must be just an intermittent problem this time, not for everybody. But I'm direct to Stampin' Up. I don't have an upline. She resigned years ago, and so now I'm direct to Stampin' Up. So I did put it. We've got a special group that anyone that's direct to Stampin' Up is in. I'm going to use these. These are the 24-26 in colour flat pearls. I'll put some of these on the front in this lighter pink. So I did put a post up in there showing people to make sure that they check their sets if they get them. So far I haven't heard of anyone else. I put photos up. Stampin' Up did ask me to send photos, which she was happy with because she was going to put that through to quality control as well. So if ever you have a problem with, if you're a demonstrator and you've got a problem with any of your, the quality of your products, please let them know. That will do on that. That looks quite nice. They can't fix it if they don't know the problem. So I always let them know. I haven't had too many complaints over the years, so that's good. I'll just have a mouthful of water before we go again. Yes, Angelique, make sure you check it. The flowers in it don't matter because when you stamp a flower, you're stamping it on, even if it's on the front of your card. It doesn't have to be perfect, but greetings, definitely, because you're writing your little label should line up with the rubber underneath, the wording of the rubber on the rubber. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So we shall do the next one. That's our US measurement one. The only difference with this one, I'll leave those two there. The only difference in this is the scoring and the size of your panels. So we've got, I'll just get your measurements here. This is Australian measurements. I probably don't need to go through them all again, but we will. Make sure you've got them right. So this one's 11.5 by 4 1/8. That's that one. 2 of patterned pieces, which are these two here. 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. This is a different same pack of paper, just different patterns. And then my mats, Old Olive, are those two. 4.5 by 2.5, those two. And then the DSP on the front is design 2. Those other two were design 1. That's those two there, the first two we had. And then this one is design 2, 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. My basic white, which this one here, I've done that. I'm going to put, I think I've got an image to, yes, one of these images is going on here. I've coloured some of the flowers. Oh, that's why I had that. I was going to show you how I colour my flowers. I did have this little block out, and I wonder why I had it out. And my Wink of Stella, which I will get here, and my Mossy Meadow, this one. Where am I? Just need Mossy Meadow ink. Excuse my arm up there. I'll show you in a minute how I do these leaves. Back to this basic white, 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. I'm going to put that leaf in the middle of that. My inside DSP is 5.5 by 3 7/8. That's design 2. My basic white, 5.5 by 3 7/8. That's going on the back. And this is the one where I've got the 2 strips. There is another one, I saw it before, but we'll find it. Oh, there's 2 together. No, we'll find it in a minute. There should be 2 strips of that. They're the 5.5 by 3/4 inch. So that's all the pieces for, there's the other one over there. I knew I had 2. There's 2 of those. So we'll do those in a minute. Now, scoring, a little bit different. on the long side again, 2 7/8 and 5 3/4. So we've got this 2 7/8. It's basically scoring it in half and then one side in half again. So you can do whatever length you like, 2 7/8 and 5 3/4. And that should be in half, and then the other half. So the rest is exactly the same assembly. If you've got somewhere else to be, you won't need to. Where did I put my bone folder? Right there. That one there. And then this one back on itself. And then we can do the cutting. And it's a 1 inch cut again. So with the short side at the top and the left edge here on 1 inch. And we're going to stand up and we're going to cut from that score line, that first score line there, upwards, move it across. So your right edge is on 1 inch, put that on there and cut up. Don't need that anymore. And then we're going to remove those 2 pieces with the score line as well. So cut below the score line so you remove it. And the same on this side. Remove those 2. Thanks, Corinne. I'm going to trim that a little bit more because it's showing that score line there. So we can put on, we'll do it in similar order. That one's going back there. This one is on the front. We want these 2, which are design 1. One there and one underneath. We'll do them as we go. The one I've got for next week, I've got the 2 sizes again, US and Australian, but I'll just assemble 1 card because it's pretty, if it's, I think the scoring, I'm not sure, I can't remember now. If the scoring's different, I'll go through the scoring with you, but other than this, the assembly is exactly the same. So I'm creating a lot of cards for myself. Here I do donate a lot of my cards, most of my cards, to different places. There's a lady from the Gold Coast, or she lives up here, but she works for a charity on the Gold Coast for homeless people. Every couple of months I give her a big bundle of cards, and she either sells them or uses them for just as a donation to the homeless to give out cards. It's a good fundraising idea, what she does. And then this one is going on the inside. This is one of the new colours, the Timid Tiger, I think it's called. Yes, Timid Tiger. Not my favourite colour, orange. I've never been an orange person. I'm pink and blue. Don't mind a little bit of green. Definitely not orange, but you make yourself use them. It turns out okay in the end. I think originally I wasn't fussed on yellow, but I love yellow now. It's what you get used to. Red to me is only for Christmas, so I don't use red much through the year. So that's that one. Now we've got some mats here. And this one here will be on a mat at the front. Our neighbour, he's on his own over there. He lost his wife back in February, quite sudden, very sudden. They were out for lunch one day and she just fell off the chair. She had a brain bleed which was not expected. And I'm going to show you how to do this one. Yeah, so he's over there on his own. He's coping quite well. He's in his probably mid-60s, and we have him over for dinner every now and then. He loves to talk, so I think he's glad to come over and have a chat every now and then. My husband's always out there chatting to him over the fence. So with this, when I colour these, what I do, I get a little block and just put a little bit of ink onto my block. Doesn't have to be much, especially if you're only doing small amounts. We'll close that back up. And then you get your Wink of Stella. And this one hasn't got a real lot of ink in, but it doesn't need much. And I've squeezed out what I can out of it. And we're just going to use it as a paintbrush, like so. And it puts the sparkle and the colour all in one go, like so. A lovely way of colouring your... I don't use my blends much anymore. I used to always use my blends, but they come out quite dark. This one, if I had more Wink of Stella in this one, I could squeeze it and get more, it'll blend it down a bit. You can mix a little bit of water in this as well and just use it with straight water, and just use an aqua painter brush to colour. That's now when you're finished, if you're partway through and you've run out of ink on your block, don't just dip it back in your stamp pad. You'll end up with whatever the Wink of Stella is on this block in your stamp pad. So clean that off and then get some more ink if you run out in the first, if that's not enough. But just clean that off. Don't dip it straight back in your ink pad. Otherwise, you may as well just put your brush in your ink pad. I always put all my inks on a block. Even if I'm using just water, put your ink on the block and then mix it a bit of water with it. So that's how you do those. Just thought I'd show you a little trick. Gives it nice glitter as you go, especially on flowers. So that one will then go on that mat. I'm using a new Bluetooth so I can hear so much better now. It's a bummer when you get really hard of hearing. That's one problem I haven't had, is hard of hearing. My husband has. You've got to tell him to sing something 3 times and he still can't hear you. He does wear hearing aids, but only when he goes out. He doesn't wear them at home. He doesn't think that's important that he can't hear me. He probably does it on purpose. So I'm putting that onto that mat. I've just sponged a little bit in the middle there just to give it a little bit of detail as well. And this one is going on here. Actually, I'll get my other Wink of Stella. It's got a little bit more ink in it. And I shall do the leaf. Oh no, I know what I was doing. I was going to show you a different trick. We'll leave that. Now, with this set, and I worked this out myself, I want this flower, but I want the green stem and leaves. So I've cut one of each. I knew why I cut 2. And what I'm doing, I'm just going to cut the head off this. You could do it the other way, but I found this way it shows up. It's not as messy. So that is going to sit up on that, which gives you your orange flower. I'm just going to glue those together like so. I did do it the other way around where I cut the stem off this and put it over here, but you could see all the joins of the leaves. It didn't look as right, so I did it this way. So I'll just get my glue and glue those 2 together, because the flower has to have green leaves and green stem. It looked a bit odd with the orange. And then that will lay straight on top of that one because they're exact same dies. And then we have a proper flower. And then that one's going onto there. Just fits on a bit of a slant. I did buy a glue pen the other day, but this die is big enough just to use your liquid glue in your bottle. The really fine ones is good for intricate dies. Push that one down. And the front is just going to have these leaves and the greeting. So we shall put this one on, this one's going on the front. And the same as before. Push it out like so. So you're folding it flat as if it's your normal card. And put some glue on that. Right to the edges. And then this, just line it up on here. Make sure it's even top and bottom and move it right across to the edge of the card. Like so. Yes, the DSP is pretty. I was thinking I might be able to get a third pack. I just want to use it for my workshop, that's all. And usually one pack's not enough. Because I have up to 14 ladies. And depends how you use it, whether it's going to be enough. Sometimes if you've got a full frontal with DSP. Now I'm going to put this up on dimensionals, but I'm going to put these couple of leaves at the back first. I usually buy a few packs of DSP. The 6x6 I hardly ever buy full cards because you don't get enough in a pack. You'll usually end up having to buy 3 or 4 packs to do a workshop, and then I end up with a lot of patterns and colours left over, which is not good. So I don't use 6x6 much. So that's that. That bit there is spare. I'm not going to have orange leaves on anything. Dimensionals. I did have them a little while ago over here. Just put some of those on the back. I hope you all love learning new designs. These are fairly simple to do, so love seeing all your creations that you've been putting up. There's a couple of ladies been working through all my PDFs doing cards with each, which is nice to see. I think I've got them all. It's hard to see them sometimes. There's my phone ringing, but I'm not answering it because I'm not home. I'm busy. So I'll put that on there. It won't be my hubby because he knows I do a video every Saturday morning. Now this one is the same as before. We're just going to put the glue on the back of this. They're not getting out. Oh yes they did, they stopped. If they want me, they'll ring back or leave a message. So this one just lines up with this, like we did before. Just get it nice and even and pop it down. Easy as. We've just got the back to put on and some embellishments. I'm going to use the new wherever I put them, these Timid Tiger embellishments we can put on this one. I'll do the back first, finish it off. So I've got 2 strips of these, and I'm going to show the pretty paper on the back. It's optional if you want more space for writing. You could leave these off or just do a little stamped image in the corner. You can stamp a greeting in the middle. I don't often stamp greetings on the insides of my cards, so I leave the space for writing, and it doesn't have to be a big space for me. I'm not a big writer, unless it's someone really special where I want to put a big greeting. Those two on there. You can put them down this way as well, make them shorter, whatever the width is here. Just do a couple of strips sideways, and that's going on the back. Thanks, Lena. Yes, the flower, because they're freestanding, you can die cut those and do different combinations with them. You don't waste too much cardstock by the little bit that you're not putting on. So that's that, and then we've got these embellishments, which I thought I got some. Oh, there they are, right in front of me. I'll put some of those. I put a couple of bigger ones up here. No, you can't see them up there. We don't want any other colour. We'll just leave the three. Can't see them with the tone on tone. So that is it. Thank you all who joined me again this morning. I love having everyone on. That's that one. And that's that one. So that's the two we did this morning with the same paper. These will eventually, I've had blocks sitting on these, my large acrylic blocks, and they sit down quite nicely. But that's how they work, like so. I don't think I gave you the name. It's called Inside Out Flip Fun Fold. I don't think I mentioned the name at the beginning, so that's what it's called. And the PDF will have that name on it, Inside Out Flip Fun Fold, and also the video when I pin it to the featured tab, and then it'll be uploaded to YouTube, so you can get it all from there. Easy to do. Thanks, Angelique. Thanks, Gay. And I shall catch you all again next week. I'll tidy up this mess here. I've got stuff everywhere. And sorry about the beginning where I cut myself off, but we're all good. I shall see you all again next week with another fun fold. Easy as. Bye for now.